Hello, and welcome to another video essay where we dive deep into the stories of classic video games. Tonight, we're stepping into the lush, mystical world of Hyrule with The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Released in 1991 for the Super Nintendo, this game is a cornerstone of gaming history, weaving a tale of courage, destiny, and the eternal struggle between light and dark. Whether you've played it 100 times or you've never picked up a controller, this recap will guide you through every twist and turn of Link's journey. So settle in and let's begin at the very start of this legendary adventure. Our story opens on a stormy night in the kingdom of Hyrule. Rain pours from the sky, drumming against the rooftops of a quiet house where a young boy named Link sleeps soundly. He's an ordinary boy, or so it seems, living with his uncle in a modest home near Hyrule Castle. But this night is anything but ordinary. As thunder rumbles in the distance, a voice echoes in Link's mind. A desperate, telepathic plea. "Help me," it says. "My name is Zelda. I'm a prisoner in the castle dungeon." The voice is faint but urgent, stirring Link awake. He sits up, heart pounding, unsure if it was a dream or something more. Before he can make sense of it, his uncle stirs nearby, grabbing a sword and shield from the corner of the room. "Stay here," his uncle says gruffly, his voice heavy with resolve. "I'll be back by morning." And with that, he steps out into the rain, leaving Link alone with the lingering echo of that mysterious voice. Link tries to obey, but the call grows louder in his mind. He realizes that it's Princess Zelda, the daughter of Hyrule's king, a figure he's only heard about in passing. Something terrible must be happening. Unable to ignore her plea, Link slips out of bed, grabs a lantern, and follows his uncle into the storm. The night is dark and cold, the wind howling as he makes his way toward the towering silhouette of Hyrule Castle. When he arrives, he finds the drawbridge lowered, but strangely unguarded. Slipping inside through a hidden passage, Link's journey truly begins. Inside the castle, the air is thick with tension. Torches flicker along the stone walls, casting long shadows as Link creeps through the corridors. He soon stumbles upon a devastating sight. His uncle, slumped against a wall, gravely wounded. Blood stains the floor, and his sword lies broken beside him. With his last breath, the old man presses his sword and shield into Link's hands. "Save the princess," he gasps. And he's gone, leaving Link alone with the weight of his final words. There's no time to grieve. Zelda's voice calls again, guiding Link deeper into the castle's underbelly. Link descends into the dungeons, where he finds the princess locked in a cell, guarded by a brutish soldier wielding a mace. With his uncle's sword in hand, Link fights his first real battle, striking down the guard and freeing Zelda. She's young, like him, with golden hair and a look of determination despite her captivity. "Thank you, Link," she says, her voice steady now that he's here. She explains the dire situation. A wizard named Ganon has seized control of Hyrule. The king is missing, presumed dead, and the castle guard has fallen under the sorcerer's sway. Ganon is searching for the descendants of the Seven Sages, wise men and women who, long ago, sealed away an evil force threatening the kingdom. Zelda, as the princess, is one of those descendants, and Ganon plans to use her to break the ancient seal. With no time to waste, Link and Zelda escape the castle through a secret passage hidden behind the throne room. It leads them to a sanctuary, a small church where a kindly old sage awaits. He's one of the few still loyal to the royal family, and he takes Zelda into hiding, promising to keep her safe. But for Link, the task is far from over. The sage tells him of a legendary weapon, the Master Sword, a blade forged to vanquish evil. It rests in the Lost Woods, guarded by an enchantment that only those worthy can break. You must retrieve it, the sage says. It is the only way to stop the sorcerer. And so, with a heavy heart and a flickering hope, Link sets out into the wilds of Hyrule. The kingdom of Hyrule stretches out before him, a land of rolling fields, dense forests, and shimmering lakes. But beneath its beauty, a growing shadow lies. Villagers whisper of strange happenings, soldiers ransacking homes, monsters prowling the countryside, and a dark power stirring in the east. Link's first task is to prove himself worthy of the Master Sword, and the sage has given him a clue. He must collect 3 magical pendants hidden in temples across Hyrule. Each pendant is a test of courage, wisdom, and power, guarded by ancient creatures and treacherous traps. Link begins his quest in the Eastern Palace, a sprawling ruin on Hyrule's eastern plains. Inside, he battles skeletal warriors and dodges rolling boulders, eventually facing the Armos Knights, 6 towering stone statues that come to life with a thunderous roar. With quick reflexes and steady strikes, Link defeats them, claiming the Pendant of Courage. Next, he travels to the Desert Palace, a sandy labyrinth where the wind howls through crumbling corridors. There, Link confronts the Lanmalas, giant worms that burst from the ground, snapping at him with razor-sharp jaws. After a tense battle, he secures the Pendant of Power. Finally, he ascends the Tower of Hera atop Death Mountain, a perilous climb through misty peaks and crumbling ledges. At the summit, he faces Moldorm, a massive worm that thrashes wildly, nearly knocking him into the abyss. With patience and precision, Link prevails, earning the Pendant of Wisdom. With all 3 pendants in hand, Link ventures into the Lost Woods, a misty forest where the air hums with ancient magic. The trees seem to whisper as he approaches a stone pedestal, where the Master Sword gleams in the filtered light. He places the pendants before it, and the enchantment fades. Grasping the hilt, Link pulls the blade free, its steel singing as it cuts through the air. He feels its power coursing through him, a weapon forged by the goddesses, destined to fight darkness. For a moment, he stands there, the weight of his destiny settling over him like a cloak. But the triumph is short-lived. As Link emerges from the woods, Zelda's voice cries out once more, sharp with fear, "Link, hurry! Aghanim has found me!" The connection breaks and dread fills his chest. He races back to the sanctuary, but he's too late. The doors are flung open, pews are overturned, and the old sage lies wounded on the floor, barely able to speak. Aghanim took her, he wheezes. To the castle, to the tower. With no time to lose, Link charges toward Hyrule Castle, the Master Sword gleaming at his side. The castle is swarming with Aghanim's minions, soldiers clad in dark armor, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. Link fights his way to the tower, climbing higher and higher until he reaches a chamber bathed in eerie purple light. There he finds Zelda bound on an altar, and Aghanim standing before her, his robes billowing as he chants in a strange language. The wizard turns, his face shadowed beneath a hood, and sneers. "You're too late, boy." With a wave of his hand, he opens a portal, a swirling vortex of darkness before Link, and Zelda vanishes into it. Before Link can even strike, Aghanim disappears in a flash of smoke, leaving only mocking laughter behind. The sage's words echo in Link's mind. Aghanim seeks to break the seal of the Seven Sages. But where has Zelda gone? As Link stands in the empty chamber, the Master Sword pulses, and a vision floods his senses. He sees a twisted mirror of Hyrule, a land of golden skies and blackened earth where shadows reign. This is the Dark World, once called the Sacred Realm, corrupted long ago by an evil force named Ganon. Zelda has been taken there, and Aghanim's ritual is nearly complete. Link realizes he must follow her, but the path isn't clear until he discovers a clue in the castle library, the Book of Madura, an ancient tome that speaks of a magical mirror hidden on Death Mountain. Link returns to the Misty Peaks, scaling a treacherous path to a hidden ledge. There, he finds the magic mirror, a shimmering relic that glows with otherworldly light. Standing before it, he is pulled into the Dark World, a realm where the air is thick with malice, and the landscape twists into grotesque shapes. He looks down at himself and gasps. He is no longer human, but a pink rabbit stripped of his strength. The Dark World transforms those who enter it, reflecting their inner nature. Panicked, he stumbles through the strange land until he finds a glowing orb, the Moon Pearl, hidden in a chest. With this pearl, he regains his human form, the Master Sword still at his side. Now he understands. To save Zelda and stop Aghanim, he must navigate both worlds, light and dark. Link learns that Aghanim has sent Zelda to Ganon's tower in the Dark World, where the wizard plans to finish his ritual. To reach her, Link must rescue the other descendants of the Seven Sages, who have been kidnapped and trapped in dungeons across the corrupted realm. Each maiden holds a crystal, and together they can break the barrier protecting Ganon's lair. Link's journey takes him to 7 treacherous dungeons, each more perilous than the last. In the Dark Palace, he battles the Helmasaur King, a masked beast with a swinging tail. In the Swamp Palace, he faces Argus, a jellyfish-like monster surrounded by floating orbs. The Skull Woods hide the Mothula, a giant moth that rains fire from its wings. In the Thieves' Town, he uncovers Blind, the thief, a bandit leader posing as a maiden to trick him. The Ice Palace pits him against Cold Stare, a frozen creature that shatters into deadly shards. In the Misery Mire, he defeats Vitrios, a grotesque eye surrounded by smaller eyes that swarm around like flies. And in Turtle Rock, he confronts Trinex, a 3-headed dragon that breathes fire and ice. With each victory, Link frees a maiden, and they share fragments of Hyrule's history. Long ago, the Sacred Realm held the Triforce, a golden relic of infinite power created by the goddesses Din, Nehru, and Faror. A thief named Ganondorf stole it, wishing for dominion over all. His greed corrupted the realm into the Dark World, and he became Ganon, a monstrous embodiment of evil. The Seven Sages sealed him away, but Aghanim, his pawn, now seeks to free Ganon by sacrificing their descendants. Zelda, the 7th maiden, is the key to completing the ritual. With the 6 crystals in hand, Link storms Ganon's tower, a fortress of jagged stone piercing the golden sky. Inside, he finds Aghanim waiting, Zelda unconscious on another altar. The wizard unleashes bolts of lightning and shadowy duplicates, but Link deflects his magic with the Master Sword, striking him down. As Aghanim collapses, a dark essence rises from his body, a bat-like specter that flees to the tower's peak. Link follows, climbing the Pyramid of Tower, where the true enemy awaits. There, atop the pyramid, stands Ganon, a towering boar-like beast wielding a massive trident. His voice rumbles like thunder. "You've come this far, boy, but the Triforce is mine." The final battle begins. Ganon hurls his trident and summons fiery bats, cloaking himself in darkness. Link uses every tool at his disposal, arrows, bombs, and the Master Sword, until Ganon finally falters. With a final shining blow, Link drives the blade into the beast, and Ganon's form dissolves into ash, leaving behind the Triforce, glowing softly in the silence. The maiden's voices guide Link to the Triforce chamber, where it rests on a pedestal. He touches it, and its power washes over him. With a wish born of a pure heart, he undoes all of Ganon's evil. The dark world fades, restored to the sacred realm's golden glory. Hyrule heals. Villagers return to their lives, the king is restored, and Link's uncle, miraculously, lives again. Zelda stands beside him, smiling as peace settles over the land. Link returns the Master Sword to its pedestal in the Lost Woods, its purpose fulfilled. The blade sinks back into the stone, waiting for the next hero. As he walks away, the forest whispers its farewell, and the sun rises over a Hyrule reborn. And so ends The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, a tale of bravery, sacrifice, and the enduring light that shines even in the darkest of times. If you enjoyed this story recap, hit the like button, subscribe for more gaming recaps. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you in the next one.